Hey everybody, how are you all doing today? Fantastic! I'm feeling great and I'm so excited you're here with me. Welcome to today's discussion on youthful marriage and the beauty of maturity in relationships. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Ellen, what do you know about youthful marriage? Well, I know about love, I know about relationships, and I know that sometimes the youngest people can teach us the most about what really matters. Or, they can teach us the latest TikTok dances, which is also important. But today, we're focusing on the heart stuff, the good stuff. We're going to explore how getting married when you're young can be an incredible journey, especially when both people are committed to growing together. It's not just about those butterflies in your stomach, though those are nice. I get those when I see a puppy or a really good vegan dessert. It's about building a foundation, understanding each other, and yes, that big word, maturity. We'll be diving into some thought-provoking questions and topics, so get your thinking caps on or your comfy pants or both. We're talking about what maturity even in a relationship, whether age is just a number or if it's got a little more to it, the beautiful complexities of relationships across different backgrounds, and that age-old question, is a perfect marriage even a thing? Spoiler. Probably not in the way the movies show it, but we'll get into what possible, so get comfortable, maybe grab a cup of tea, or if you're like me, a giant cup of coffee, because we're about to get into it. It's going to be fun, it's going to be insightful, and who knows, maybe we'll all learn a little something. Alright, let's talk about maturity. It's a word we hear a lot, right? Oh, they're so mature for their age, or he needs to mature a bit. But what does it really mean, especially when we're talking about love and relationships, and particularly youthful marriage? Is it about having a serious face all the time? I hope not, because I'd be in big trouble. Is it about knowing all the answers? Definitely not, because who does? I think a huge part of maturity is actually about emotional intelligence. It's about understanding your own feelings and, just as importantly, being able to understand and empathize with your partner's feelings. It's that ability to say, okay, I see you're upset, let's talk about this, instead of, just getting upset yourself and maybe throwing a pillow. Not that I've ever done that recently. Another cornerstone of maturity in a relationship is responsibility. And I don't just mean remembering to take out the trash, although, let's be honest, that's a big one for domestic harmony. I'm talking about taking responsibility for your actions, your words, and your role in the relationship. It's about owning your mistakes, and we all make them. Nobody's perfect, and being willing to apologize and make things right. It's also about being dependable, someone your partner can truly count on, through thick and thin, through burnt dinners and surprise successes. It's that quiet strength that says, I'm here, and I'm committed to us. That's a pretty grown-up thing, no matter how old you are. Then there's communication and compromise, the dynamic duo of any strong relationship. Maturity means you can express your needs and feelings clearly and respectfully, even when it's tough. And it means you can really listen, not just wait for your turn to talk. It's amazing what you can learn when you truly hear your partner. And compromise? Oh boy, that's a biggie. It's not about one person always winning or one person always giving in. It's about finding that middle ground, that sweet spot where both partners feel heard and valued. It's understanding that sometimes the we is more important than the me. That's a huge sign of maturity, being able to navigate those give and takes with grace. And finally, I think maturity involves a healthy dose of self-awareness and a commitment to personal growth. Knowing who you are, what your triggers are, what your strengths and weaknesses are, that's powerful. And being willing to work on yourself, to keep learning and evolving, not just for your own sake, but for the sake of the relationship. When two people are committed to growing individually, they can grow together in really beautiful ways. It means you're not expecting your partner to complete you, but rather, you're two whole people choosing to share your journeys. That's the kind of maturity that builds a love that lasts, whether you meet at 20 or 50. Okay, so we've talked about maturity. Now let's tackle that other big question. Is age relevant in a love relationship? You hear it all the time, age is just a number. And sometimes it is. Sometimes you meet someone and you just click, and it doesn't matter if one of you still remembers life before the internet and the other one was born with an iPad in their hand. But let's be real, sometimes age, or rather, the life stage that often comes with a certain age, can bring its own set of, let's call them interesting dynamics. It's not necessarily a deal breaker, but it's something to be aware of, Think about it, if one person is just starting their career, full of that youthful ambition and maybe still figuring out how to cook something other than instant noodles, And the other person is more settled, perhaps thinking about slowing down or has different life priorities that can create some friction. Or it can be amazing. Maybe one person's energy inspires the other, and the other's experience provides a steadying hand. The key, again, comes back to maturity, communication, and shared values. Are you both on the same page about what you want from life, from your future, from each other? That's often more important than the year on your birth certificate. And what about when there isn't a big age gap? Sometimes people assume that if you're close in age, especially in a youthful marriage, you'll automatically be in sync. But even then, people mature at different rates. One 25-year-old might be incredibly emotionally mature and ready for commitment, while another might still be, shall we say, exploring their options. So it's less about the number itself and more about where each person is in their personal development. Are you growing together or are you growing apart? Are your life goals aligning, or are they heading in completely different directions like two ships in the night, or two people fighting over the TV remote? Ultimately, I think what matters most is the connection, the respect, and the love you share. If you have that, and you're both willing to put in the work, age becomes less of a defining factor and more of just another characteristic, like whether one of you snores or hogs the blankets. Every relationship has its unique challenges and its unique joys. The success of a relationship isn't predetermined by an age gap or lack thereof. It's determined by the people in it, by their commitment, their understanding, and their ability to navigate life's ups and downs together hand in hand, no matter how many candles were on their last birthday cake. Now, let's talk about something really beautiful and important. Love across different backgrounds. We're talking about interracial relationships, where partners come from different racial backgrounds, and intra-racial relationships, where partners share the same racial background but might still have wonderfully diverse cultural upbringings. Love, as we know, knows no boundaries, or at least it shouldn't. And when it blossoms between people from different walks of life, it can be an incredible tapestry of experiences, traditions, and perspectives. It's like getting a bonus education in culture, food, and maybe even a new language, all wrapped up in a package of love. How great is that? In interracial relationships, there's often an immediate, unspoken understanding that comes from shared cultural experiences, history, and sometimes even similar family dynamics. This can create a really strong foundation of comfort and familiarity. You might find that you get certain things about each other without even having to explain them. But even within the same race, there's so much diversity, right? Different regions, different family traditions, different socioeconomic backgrounds. These can all bring unique flavors and, yes, sometimes unique challenges to navigate together. The beauty is in discovering those nuances and building your own shared culture as a couple. When it comes to interracial relationships, wow, that's a whole adventure. You're blending two worlds, two sets of traditions, maybe even two languages. It's an opportunity to learn so much, to broaden your horizons, and to create something entirely new and unique together. Imagine the holidays. You get to celebrate everything twice. But let's be honest, it can also come with its own set of challenges. Sometimes society isn't as accepting as it should be. You might face prejudice or well-meaning but ignorant questions from people who just don't understand. And sometimes, even within families, there can be a learning curve as everyone adjusts to new traditions and perspectives. The most important things in any relationship, but perhaps especially when navigating these beautiful complexities, are communication, respect, and a whole lot of love. You have to be willing to talk openly about your experiences, to listen to your partner's perspective, and to stand strong together as a team. It's about celebrating your differences as much as your similarities. It's about creating a safe space where both partners feel seen, heard, and cherished for exactly who they are. When you have that, the richness that diversity brings to a relationship is truly a gift, a testament to the fact that love, in all its colors, is a powerful, beautiful force. Alright, let's get down to it. The quest for the perfect marriage, is it real? Is it attainable? Or is it like trying to find a parking spot at the mall on a Saturday? Possible, but highly improbable and likely to cause a lot of stress. I think we've all seen those movies or read those books where everything is just perfect. The couple never argues, they always know what the other is thinking, their house is always clean, and they probably have a golden retriever that doesn't shed. It's a lovely fantasy, isn't it? But in the real world, especially when you're navigating something as profound as marriage, youthful or otherwise, perfect might need a little redefinition. Chasing that Hollywood ideal of perfection can actually be pretty damaging. It sets up unrealistic expectations, and when real life happens, because it always does, you might feel like you're failing. But what if perfect isn't about the absence of flaws, but about the presence of something much deeper? What if a perfect marriage is perfectly imperfect? What if it's about two people who are committed to navigating the messiness of life together, with honesty, with laughter, and with a whole lot of grace for each other's quirks? I think that sounds a lot more achievable and, frankly, a lot more fun. Think about it. The strongest, most inspiring marriages aren't necessarily the ones that look flawless on the outside. They're the ones where you see two people who are a real team. They support each other's dreams, they lift each other up when things get tough, they know how to argue constructively, or at least apologize well afterwards, and they never stop trying to understand each other. It's about continuous effort, not effortless perfection. It's about choosing each other, day after day, even when it's not easy, even when you're both tired, or one of you used the last of the coffee and didn't make more. True story. So, is perfection possible in marriage? If by perfect you mean a relationship free of challenges, disagreements, or bad hair days, then probably not. But if perfect means a relationship that is real, authentic, loving, supportive, and constantly evolving, then yes, absolutely. It's about finding someone who sees your imperfections and loves you not despite them, but maybe even because of them, because they make you who you are. It's about building a unique kind of perfection that works for you too. And that, my friends, is far more beautiful and meaningful than any fairy tale. It's the real deal. Well, look at that, our time together has just flown by. Thank you for joining us in this insightful discussion. We've talked about maturity, age, love in all its beautiful colors, and the real scoop on perfect marriages. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. It's so important to have these conversations, to think about what really makes relationships thrive, especially when we're talking about starting that journey together at a younger age. It's all about growth, understanding, and a whole lot of heart. Remember, maturity is a beautiful status in any relationship. It's not about being old, it's about being wise in the ways of love, empathy, and partnership. It's about choosing to grow together, to support each other, and to build something truly special. Whether you're in a youthful marriage or any kind of loving partnership, embracing that journey of mutual growth is what it's all about. And always, always lead with kindness to your partner and to yourself. Be kind to one another. And that's our show for today, everybody. I had a blast. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content. We love having you as part of our community here at Tundio Pawuzi Soulmate Love Concept. Spread the love, keep learning, keep growing, and we'll see you next time. Now, if you'll excuse me, I think I hear some music. Time for a little dance. Bye, everybody.